Israel now, where the ground offensive in Gaza has expanded further south, displacing more than 75% of people who live there.
Fox 9's Sharon Crowley joins us now in studio. And Sharon, this comes as negotiations for another ceasefire appear to have fallen apart.
Yeah, that's right. That happened over the weekend, Natasha. Israel expanding its assault into Gaza now. The military also ordering mass evacuations. Meantime, the end to the ceasefire has been devastating, as you can imagine, for families who have loved ones who are still being held hostage by Hamas.
Israeli ground forces are now pushing deeper into the southern part of the Gaza Strip. The IDF warning tens of thousands of civilians to find another safe zone. The ceasefire fell apart this weekend.
Right now, Hamas is refusing to release civilian women who should have been part of the agreement. And it is that refusal by Hamas that has caused the end of the hostage agreement and therefore the end of the pause in hostilities.
It's not clear if there will be another pause in the fighting. No hostage exchanges are scheduled in the coming days.
Hamas only understands force. We will continue to strike it until we achieve the goals of the war: the dismantling of Hamas, the denial of its military capabilities, and the return of the hostages.
The families of those hostages now pleading with the White House to bring their loved ones home.
We really need President Biden and the entire U.S. Government to help us here and put international pressure on Hamas.
U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says the Biden administration is actively working to free American hostages.
We're still talking about trying to find a way forward on hostages. We're talking about sustaining and expanding the humanitarian assistance, making it into Gaza. And we're talking about, of course, the status of Israel's military operation as it defends itself against a terrorist organization that has declared its intent to repeat the October 7th massacres again and again and again.
Now that the fighting has resumed, the Israeli government is under increasing international pressure to bring down the number of civilian deaths in Gaza, a priority underscored by Vice President Kamala Harris.
As Israel defends itself, it matters how. The United States is unequivocal. International humanitarian law must be respected.
Well, many civilians in Gaza right now are trying to make their way to those newly designated safe areas based on a detailed block-by-block maps and leaflets that have been dropped by the Israeli military. Some saying movement, though, is getting more dangerous as the IDF intensifies its attacks. Israeli officials say there are still about 130 hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza, Natasha.
All right, Sharon, thank you.